Good morning, everybody. Everyone's escaping the cold, yeah? I'm like, who needs me to sub a class this week just so I can be in this space more often? All right, couple of things that we've got coming up besides avoiding the cold and being in the studio a lot. 40 Days is coming up in January, the beginning of January, and it starts on January 8th. So it's a really good way to kickstart your new year and kind of clean everything out so you can make space for something new. And it involves yoga practice and meditation. There's a dietary component. There's weekly meetings that are on Thursday nights from just 7 to 8, so they're hour-long meetings. And this will be my 7th time doing it, and I'm leading it with Lisa, and I get something new out of it every single time. So whether you've never done it before or you're taking it for the 3rd or 4th or 5th time, come because it's going to be great. So that program's only $99, and I would definitely recommend signing up ahead of time because we've already got a good-sized chunk of people that are signed up, and I want you to get space if you want space. So let's get started in child's pose. Feet together, knees nice and wide. Sink your fingertips down into the floor. Take a few moments to defrost and warm your body up. And then on your way out after class, take a look at the whiteboard on your way out because we're doing a Christmas party. And Lisa Taylor's leading a 2-hour yoga class beforehand, and then it's like a Christmas potluck, and I'm bringing pie, and I make awesome pie, so you definitely want to be part of that too. So pie aside, sink your fingertips down into the floor, and start creating a loud, powerful breath. Long, conscious inhales that completely fill up your chest and fill up the back side of your body, and an exhale that can empty you out and clear some space. Clear some space between your thoughts, space between your ears and your shoulders. Lots of space. And make your breath louder so the person next to you can hear. And the person a few mats over can hear your breath. And the louder you breathe, the more people that you sync up with your breath, the easier it is to flow in your own practice because everybody carries everyone else in the room like a wave. So make your way to downward facing dog and make your breath even louder. Paddle out your feet, shake your hips side to side, shake your head out yes and no, whatever your body needs right now as your muscles start to soften and things start to sink into the floor. Loud exhales, like the sound of you fogging up a mirror. And settle into stillness and send your right leg up to the sky. Heel towards your butt, open your hip. Lots of breath. If you're breathing but you can't hear your neighbor breathing, they probably can't hear you, so breathe louder and remind them. Do some ankle rolls, roll your ankles around in some circles. Wake up your toes. Straighten out your leg. Place your foot down. Send your left leg up to the sky. Heel towards your butt, open your hip. Peel open the front side of your hip, roll your ankle around one way and then another. Tons of space. Straighten out your leg. Place your foot down. And separate your feet mat width distance apart. Come up onto your tippy toes and take your heels to the right. So your feet are in line, one in front of the other on the blade edge, so you can stretch out your side waist. Yeah. Both palms firmly on the mat. Press your left palm into the ground. Come back to center and then go the opposite way since some of you were going the other way. Stretch out your opposite side waist. Long, long, long. Fingertips in the ground, thumbs in the ground. Come back to center. Bring your feet back to hip width distance and sink your heels towards the floor. Take a breath in together and a breath out together. And step forward, feet to hands. Halfway lift, lengthen out your spine, pull your low belly in and up. So get your hands to touch something so you can use that leverage to reach your heart forward more and your tailbone back even more. Take another long inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back, then hang in ragdoll. So you can make a box with your arms and grab hand to elbow if you want, or sway gently side to side. Just let the whole top half of your body be easy. Easy and heavy. I need a mat. Get really conscious about what's going on in your feet right now. Bend your knees and really sink down into your feet, into your big toes, your pinky toes, both sides of your heels, so they're firmly glued onto the ground. This mat will be less slippy for you. Then release your hands down if you haven't already and rise all the way up to standing. Reach through your fingertips. Bring your thumbs to your heart. Choose an intention for your practice. Choose one word that you're going to take with you through every single pose. You can remind yourself to come back again and again and again. And we'll send out all those intentions with 3 ohms. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, long inhale, feel your lungs. High to low plank, step back. Your breath is already awesome. Keep it up. Upward facing dog, open your chest. Downward facing dog, lift your hips. Breathe in together. Breathe out together. Nice. Breath in. Breath out. One more in, fill yourself up. Complete exhale, all the way out, step forward, feet to hands. Halfway lift, breathe in, fold, empty out. Rise to standing, a long inhale, all the way up to your fingertips, fold down. Halfway lift, softness in your knees, high to low, step back, connect your fingertips to the floor. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Breathe out. Send your tailbone up and back. Breath in, breath out. One more, fill yourself up. Long exhale, take your time. Step, feet to hands. Halfway lift, long inhale. Fold down. Rise to standing, breathe in all the way up. Reach up, look up, forward fold, empty out. Halfway, get long tailbone back. Chaturanga, low push-up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathe together, in and out. Big breath in, empty it out. Soften your knees, one more breath in, one more breath out. Step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway lift, bow forward. Rise to standing, last on A, lift your heart up and back this time, forward fold. Half lift, fill up. Chaturanga, empty out. Awesome flow, guys. Upward facing dog, shoulder blades back. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Set your focal point between your toes. Breath in. Breath out. Thumbs into the floor. One more breath in. One more breath out. Step or jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose, keep breathing, pause in your chair, way down in it, and the breath still flows. Lift your toes off the mat, and eyes on one focal point. So your whole practice, you'll just be moving from physical point to physical point with your eyes, one thing at a time. One more breath, reach through your fingertips, forward fold. Half lift, inhale, chaturanga, exhale. So if you're jumping back, make sure it's to low plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot through for warrior one. Sink into your feet and rise up on your breath. High to low on your exhale. Upward facing, fill. Downward facing, empty. Left foot, warrior one. Step, rise up, heart way up to the ceiling. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Big breath in, make it long. Empty all the way out. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Send your weight back into your hips. One more breath in. One more breath out. Step or jump. Keep the rhythm. Halfway lifts. Fold down. Chair pose for one breath this time and reach. fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Lots of breath. Upward facing dog, fill. Downward facing dog, empty. Right foot warrior one. So land on empty, then reach up on your inhale. Lift, high to low plank. Upward facing, downward facing. Left foot, step, foot on the ground, rise up on your breath. Make it easy. Chaturanga, hands to the floor. You're doing great. Keep up this pace. Up dog, downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Breathe out. Big breath in. Breath out. Eyes on one spot. One more breath in. One more breath out. Step or jump. Halfway lifts. Forward fold. Chair pose. One breath. Lift your toes. Fold. Halfway, get long. Chaturanga. Keep going with your breath. Let it fill you up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot warrior one. Both feet flat on the mat and reach high to low. Upward facing. Big breath. Shoulder blades back. Downward facing. Left foot step through. Sink into it. Rise up. Chaturanga. Are you warm yet? Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Big breath in. Breath out. Sink your heels down towards the floor. One more in. Empty all the way out. Step or jump, feet to hands. One more sun B. Half lifts. Fold down. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Lift your heart. Forward fold. Halfway, tailbone back. Chaturanga, step or jump. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot warrior one. Sink into your toes, fingertips way up to the rafters. Chaturanga. Stay with your breath, make it loud. Up dog. Down dog. Left foot, step. Let everybody carry you. Rise. High to low plank. Upward facing. Downward facing. Breathe. Right between your big toes. So just notice if your gaze starts bouncing around. Are you the kind of person who looks around a lot in down dog? Focus. Hone it in. Make it laser-like. Send your right leg up to the sky. Heel towards your butt. Open your hip. Wake up your foot. Flex your foot. Wake up your toes. And so quiet that you can't even hear your foot land. Flip your dog. Smooth and fluid. That was nice. Reach through your fingertips. So use your feet on the ground to lift your hips way up. Way, way up. And then gaze on one spot. A spot in front of you. One of your fingertips. You get to choose. Then smooth and fluid, flip over, right side plank, face the purple wall. Smooth and fluid, like you're rolling right into it, like you're moving underwater. Now add your breath in. So your breath can take you to a place past where you think you can go, but you have to take it along for the ride. So if you leave it behind and you take yourself a little bit too far, you get your body into overwhelm, and it feels really hard. So breathe and make it not so hard. Take one more inhale, reach up. High to low plank, hands to the floor. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Long breath in. Long breath out. Send your left leg up to the sky. There's plenty of breath, plenty of time. Heel towards your butt, open your hip. Smooth and quiet, flip your dog. Nice, reach through your fingertips. So it's almost like you're not forcing your body, you're not making your body do anything, it's just moving and you're along for the ride. Reach through your fingertips a lot. Like you could really almost touch the windows, you could really almost touch the bricks. Flip back over, left side plank, face the yellow wall. Set yourself up because you've got the time, and then notice if you lost your breath, slow down for a moment so you can catch it. Pull everything into the middle and breathe big. Breathe loud, flex your feet a lot, like you're gonna leave a footprint on the back wall, whether your foot's in the air or on the ground. There's a big, solid flexed foot. One more inhale, reach, 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 high to low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. Make it loud, breath in, Make any noise you want. That was your noise. Breath in. Let it out. Yeah, step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Bow down. Chair pose, sit back, lift your heart way up. Forward fold. Halfway, get long. Chaturanga, flat palms on the mat, glue them to the mat. Upward facing dog, press the ground away. Downward facing dog. Reach your right leg up to the sky, keep breathing. Keep the rhythm going. Flex your foot and reach your leg long to the back of the room, then dial your pinky toe down. So all 5 toes face the floor. Yes. Breath in here. Knee to nose on your exhale. Squeeze in. Lift your shoulders over your wrists. Press back, inhale. Knee to nose, exhale. Round just like a Halloween cat. Press it back, inhale. One more time. Knee to nose, pull in, pause. Round, hug it in, pull your shin up. Crescent lunge. You're on the ball of your back foot this time. And hands up to the sky. Breath and focal point. Your ujjayi and your drishti. Just those 2 things. It's really quiet. There's plenty of you to make a really loud oceanic sounding breath. There it is. Then eyes on one focal point. Hook your thumbs. Lift your heart up and back. So maybe that focal point shifts to the ceiling, but there's a purpose behind it so you can lift yourself up and back more. Make all the lift happen just behind your heart. Shoulder blades, scoop your chest way up to the ceiling. Now bring your hands to heart center, pull your low belly in, and twist to the right. Left elbow outside your right knee. Open your arms. So you've got options. You can have your bottom arm on the outside of your knee or templed fingertips on the ground on the inside of your ankle. You choose and bring yourself out. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. And then check back in. Are you breathing? Is it still there to support you? It gets harder when it's not there. Your body can just float if the breath is there. Right shoulder blade down into your back, towards your spine. Then come back up to crescent lunge on an inhale. Lift your heart up high. Warrior 2, face the purple wall. Down into your feet. So as you transition, where do your eyes go? Can they stay on one spot? Or can you have a purpose for what you're looking at? Lunge a little bit deeper and stack your knee right over your ankle. Then stay in Warrior 2 and just flip your palms up to face the ceiling. So it's still Warrior 2. We're not going to reverse Warrior just yet, but palms face up towards the ceiling. Reach your hands apart like you're trying to touch the front and the back wall at the same time. Let that melt the upper part of your back right on top of your shoulder blades so they slide down into place. And keep that there. Now flip your palms back over to face the floor. Yeah, so there's space. Lots of space. Reverse your warrior. Reach up and back. Is the space still there? Check into it. Sink your front heel way down into the ground. Sink your front heel down so much that you can lift your front toes and relax them and then just place them on the floor. Beautiful. Long inhale, reach up and back, straighten your front leg, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Breathe out. Good. Let something drop. Breath in. Clear the space and empty out. One more. Fill yourself up. Exhale completely. Left leg into the air. Flex your foot. Gaze on one point. So a few of you can drop your left hip down just a little bit so your hips are square to the floor. Yeah, good adjustments. Long inhale to lengthen your leg. Exhale, knee to nose, round like you're a tiny little ball. Press your foot back, inhale. Knee to nose, exhale, hug it in, shoulders right on top of your wrists. One more time, press back, get long. Knee to nose, keep your foot flexed, squeeze it in, shin up, 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 crescent lunge. Hands up to the sky, let the sweat drip. No need to adjust your shirts, they look awesome. Hands up to the sky. It's like that, right? Why do we do that? Nobody's looking, I promise, except for me, but it's only because you're moving around. Now hook your thumbs, opposite way, and go up and back. So the secret to the back bend is powerful legs. It's muscle to bone on your legs, so you've got foundation, and then your heart can go up and back. Then your shoulder blades can squeeze down in and support your chest up to the ceiling. One more breath, lift way up. Hands to heart center, twist to the left. Open your arms. Just listen and notice that you can't hear your neighbor breathing. Make that change. Eyes on one spot, just one focal point. So you're going point to point, and then your practice becomes really focused, and you can concern yourself more with what's going on in your body and less about what you're looking at or what the person next to you looks like or anything like that. Spread your fingertips apart. Yeah. Then come back up to crescent lunge on an inhale. Hands way up. Warrior two. Take up a lot of space in your legs. Lunge down deep. Then same thing, flip your palms to face up toward the ceiling, drop your shoulder blades down into your back. So there's this long inner line that reaches from middle fingertip to middle fingertip. Reach your arms apart so much that you can catch that sensation and then flip your palms back over. Reverse your warrior. Way up and back. Everybody take a long breath in through your nose, let it out through your mouth. Come back into the space. If your mind's taking you somewhere else, just come back here. You're doing awesome. You're doing exactly what you should be doing right now. Just be right here. Reach up and back and straighten. Get long. Chaturanga, hands to the floor. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Let's do lion's breath. Stick out your tongue on your exhale. Breathe in. Yeah, loud lion's breath. Breathe in. There it is. One more breath in. Make some noise. Step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway lifts. Bow down. Chair pose, sit back. Down in your chair, and then lift your heart up to face the windows and sink a little bit lower in your hips. So your spine is more vertical than hunched over your thighs. It'll actually make it easier when your spine's closer to stacked. Keep breathing. Use your breath. Use it like fuel in a car right now to keep the muscle in your legs working. Hands to heart center, twist to the right. You're building heat from the inside out. Open your arms. The heat can drive the movement, so you don't have to worry so much about forcing one muscle group to do all of the work. Your whole body does the work for you. Your whole body, your whole breath does the work for you. Sit a little bit deeper and lift your toes off the mat. Yeah. Now come back up to chair pose on an inhale. Lift yourself up. Be light. Forward fold. Separate your feet hip width distance. Take your first two fingers around your big toes. Bend your knees a lot and draw your heart down towards your shins. So bend your knees so much that you can bring your elbows straight out to the sides, which will draw your shoulder blades together on your back. And let your head hang. Even here, where are you looking? Where's your focal point? Keep yourself in the room. Keep yourself in what's going on right now. Release your hands and take crow pose. If you're practicing on jumping back from crow, keep your crow at the head of your mat so you've got jump back space. All you. Go, yogis, go. Go to crow. So whether you've done this a million times, you've only done it a couple of times, awesome. You're right where you need to be. There's a ton of different stages to get into this pose, so do the stage that you're working on right now. Just that. Just this one spot. Just right now. Step or jump back. Chaturanga. Beautiful. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Sigh out together. Good. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Let's talk about the extra heat go out. One more breath in. Step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway lifts. Bow down. Chair pose, sit back and reach. So think about that. Your heart reaches out through the windows instead of towards the floor, heart out through the windows. And then if you want to sit deeper in your hips, you're more than welcome to, but give the space to your chest. Wide open collarbones. Hands to heart center, twist left. You've got it. Sit down deep. Open your arms. So where does it feel like too much work is happening? Use another part of your body to help you out. Like if your quads are on fire right now, use your hamstrings on the backs of your legs. Make them work. Lift your toes off the mat. Look up at your top fingertips. One point of focus. Come back up to chair pose on an inhale. Reach, forward fold, let it go. Separate your feet and step on your palms, toes up to your wrists. So bend your knees a lot so your toes get all the way up to your wrists, and then let your head hang. So even if you can, straighten out your legs. Stick with bent knees so you can work on coaxing your tailbone up to the ceiling. Just little by little. So there might be such tiny movements that I can't even see it, but you can feel the tops of your hamstrings get longer, right below your butt. Awesome breath. Keep it going. Take another crow. Release your hands. So you can take a regular crow or take side crow. You choose. You choose. If you want to get fancy in side crow, you can jump back from side crow to chaturanga. I'm working on that myself. It's super fun. So have fun with it. That's what it's about. It's about having fun. So if you're muscling and forcing and trying really hard to do it, it's going to be too hard. Try easy. Don't try hard. Keep breathing. You've got like 3 more breaths here. So do what you want to do for your last 3 breaths. Just make sure that they're powerful breaths. Make sure your feet are part of your breath. Then step or jump back to chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Awesome. Deep breath in. Let it out. Good. Be here in your body. Breath in. Breath out. 1 more in. 1 more out. Step or jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift. Bow down. Separate your feet mat width distance apart. Sit down into goddess squat. Let's take a pause really quick. So goddess squat, your feet are pointing out towards 10 and 2 o'clock, and then sit down. And if it feels like that's a lot going on in your hips, you can certainly sit on a block. So elbows on the insides of your knees, press the insides of your knees out, and lift your heart up towards your thumbs. Instead of your thumbs into your heart, which is a little easier, heart way up, like it's going to reach out of your chest. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Lots of breath. Bring your right hand down to the floor, so your arm's on the inside of your knee, left hand up to the sky. Let your hips talk. Have a conversation and respond with your breath. If you want to take a half bind, top arm behind your back, around the outside of your hip, then turn your heart way up to the ceiling. Keep breathing. Smooth and fluid. So no matter what goes on in your body, it's just happening and everything's okay. Left arm on the outside of your leg, right arm up to the sky. Stay, stay. You'll get to stand up in a moment. Stay in what's going on in your hips. And if you want, the half bind's available. Top arm behind your back. Keep your breath going. Eyes on one focal point. It's just right here. All that's happening is just right here. Come back to center, hands to heart center. Forward fold, straighten your legs. Ooh. Rock your legs side to side if you need it. Rock it out a little bit. And bring your feet back together. Hip width distance apart, rise all the way up to standing. Reach through your fingertips, hands up to the sky. Right side eagle, right arm under, right leg over. So you've got space now. You've got space for the breath. You're sweating, you've got rid of all that extra stuff that was distracting you when you came in the room, and now you can focus on your breath and your focal point. Those 2 things, super simple. So if you've got tight shoulders, you can cross your upper arms and place opposite palm on opposite shoulder, and that'll give you a little more space. Sit a little lower in your hips and drive your left heel down into the ground. Anchor yourself to the ground with your foot. See if you can keep your eyes glued to one spot while you transition to airplane. Send your right leg back and reach your arms back. The less moving around you do with your eyes, the more focused your body can be when you move from pose to pose. Now flex your lifted foot and drive it straight back, like your leg is going to get even longer and your foot can touch the back wall. Beautiful. Bring your hands to heart center, smooth and fluid. Open up to half moon. Face the yellow wall. So left hand down to a block, to a water bottle, to the floor. Right hand up to the sky. And it got pretty quiet, so bring your breath back in. Go ahead, you got it. You got it. Left hand to the floor, I've got your hip. Beautiful. Fingertips up to the ceiling. Lift your foot up an inch higher. Yes, right there, that much space. You've got one more breath. Fill yourself up. Forward fold, shake it out. Rise up to standing. Press into your feet to rise up to standing. Hands up to the sky. Left side eagle. Left arm under, left leg over. It's always summertime in the studio. Sit down low in your hips. Make your little micro adjustments. Can you bring your left hip back maybe an inch so your hips are square? Or pour your low belly in and up. Then use your breath and your eyes glued to your one spot and take airplane on this side. Send your left leg back. Reach your arms back. Have so much energy coming out of your hands and your fingertips that you might just be able to reach them back further than your foot. You might just be able to reach your heart and touch the windows with your chest. Pull your navel in, hands to heart center, half moon. Open up to the purple wall. All kinds of time to get there. No rush to land. Use your breath to land. Send your flexed foot straight to the wall behind you. Nice. So if you're working on hovering on your bottom fingertips, pick one focal point, it'll help. You've got one more inhale. Radiate out through your feet, through your fingertips. Forward fold, shake it out. Rise up to standing. Hands up to the ceiling. Right side eagle, second set. Go right into it. Sit a little lower in your hips this time. And then definitely breathe louder. It's just those two things. When you clear out all the extra space, all those distractions, all that looking around and those extra thoughts, you get to what's real. You get to what's going on in your body physically, what's going on in your head mentally, and it's just one thing at a time. It gets super clear. Keep your eyes on your focal point. Bring your left hand to your left hip, right hand to your right raised knee. Standing leg raise. Unravel, stand up tall. Then flex your lifted foot so your whole leg is working. Add more breath. Do your best to pull your right thigh bone back into your hip. It's way in the socket. Now open up to the right and reach to the left. Eyes on one spot. Where's your focal point? You can have a relaxed face and have a focused gaze too. Some of you are like clenching your jaw. Come back to center, switch hands. Reach your right arm behind you, dancing Shiva. So even when your gaze moves, there's an intention behind it, so you're looking forward and then you look back behind you while you twist. Super simple. Front big toe into the ground, left big toe into the ground. Come back to center, place your foot down. Hands up to the ceiling. Left side eagle, left arm under, left leg over. Keep going. When you come up against your edge and then you go a little bit past, that's when the shift happens in your body. That's when the changes happen. When you get up against your edge and you're like, I don't want to do this pose anymore. I don't want to go to the next pose. I need to take a break. Stay. Stay here because you can. Because that's your mind telling you that you can and your body can. Right hand, right hip, left hand, left raised knee. Stand tall, tall spine. So much action in your leg that you almost don't need your left fingertips. They're there to guide your leg, but you don't need them to hold your leg up. Open your knee to the left and reach to the right. When you come up against your edge, what do? Are you going to quit and keep backing off, or can you stay? Come back to center, switch hands, and send your left arm behind you, dancing Shiva. Breathe in dancing Shiva. Wake it up with your breath. So if it feels heavy, if it feels difficult and you're not breathing, it'll just be harder. Breathe and make it easy. Come back to center and place your foot down. Standing bow or dancer's pose on the right side. So if you need a strap for dancers, I've got some for you. If you're taking standing bow, make sure that the soft crease of your elbow faces outward so that your shoulder blade can slide down your back. Take your pose. Eyes on your one spot. It's like lasers coming out of your eyes. Yeah, that much intention. So there should be a bunch of holes burned through the front wall. Burned into different spots across the street if you can still see it through the fogged up windows. Then take one more breath and flex your foot up to the ceiling. Release, place your foot down. Go to the left side. If you're starting to lose your breath, focus on that. Don't worry about doing the biggest, best, most amazing pose. Focus on your breath so you can stay here in your body. Because it doesn't matter what it looks like on the outside, it matters how it feels from the inside out. What does it feel like? What's going on right now? Flex your foot up to the ceiling. Take one more breath. Release. Second set, right side. High on your edge, go to your second set. Land here for 5 breaths. More focused on your breath than anything else. Focused on filling your chest and then emptying your chest. Super simple. And after 5, go to the left side. You're doing great. Stay with it. Go to the left side. Big, powerful breath. So take a moment or two to settle into your pose. Anchor your standing foot into the ground, and then 5 breaths. Awesome. Then after 5, feet hip-width distance at the head of your mat. Land in your feet hip-width distance at the head of your mat. You can have your hands down by your side or over your heart. Just take a moment. Get a little extra softness in your knees and sink down into your feet. Reconnect your feet into the floor. Consciously choose to slow your breath down to make it long and easy because you can. Now take right side tree pose. Right foot above or below your left knee, hands start to your heart. Tree pose is your comeback to center pose. This is your opportunity to catch up with your breath. Take any variation of tree you want. Send your hands wherever they want to go. It's your opportunity to bring what matters back to center. To leave all the rest of the stuff behind because you don't need it and it's heavy carrying around all that stuff anyway. Softness in your standing knee. Press your left big toe into the floor. Take one more breath. Lift up, get tall. Release. Switch sides. Hands start at heart center. Take your pose. So each time your mind pulls you out, what is it that's pulling you out of the room? What's distracting you? There's a difference between just acknowledging that something's pulling you away and then being super attached to it and following it down the rabbit hole and falling out of all of your poses. Just notice that it's there and then choose to be here. Choose to be here in your body. Take one more breath. Lift yourself up. Release. Feet together at the head of your mat. If they're not there already, inhale, reach your hands high. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen out your spine. Step or jump back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, wide open chest. Downward facing dog. I think it's time for a sigh. Everybody's super serious. Breathe in together. Yeah, much better. Breath in. One more breath in. Step your right foot through for warrior one. Rise up on your inhale, hands up to the ceiling. Warrior two, open up. Tap into that sensation of that middle finger to middle finger. Long line of energy so the tops of your shoulders don't have to do the work. It's your arms that are doing the work here. Now lunge a little bit deeper. Yeah, stay deep in your lunge, flip your front palm, and reverse your warrior. Add your breath back in. Now's the time for breath. Now when you're tired, when you're extra sweaty, when you're like, I can't do that breath anymore, now's the time. Reach up and back and straighten your front leg. Take all that length to triangle pose. Reach to the windows, get super long. Bring your hand down to a block or to a water bottle, maybe to the floor. Go for length in your right side waist. So if it feels like your ribs are kind of crunching down towards the floor, go for length instead. Slide your top shoulder blade down into your back, away from your ear. And see if you can get that same long line from middle fingertip to middle fingertip while you're here. Outer edge of your left foot way down into the ground. Anchor it into the floor. Then use your top hand to draw you all the way up to standing. Low belly in. Turn your toes to face the purple wall, hands on your hips. So your toes are either pointing straight ahead or slightly pigeon-toed. And then hinge down. Crown of the head to the floor, tailbone up to the sky. Bring your hands down to the mat. Soften your knees. Yeah. So with soft knees, work on tipping your tailbone up towards the ceiling. And you may need to bend your knees a little bit more than your neighbor, but that's fine. Make the space so you've got space somewhere else in your body. You make space in one place of your body so there's more space somewhere else. And if your head's really comfortable touching the ground right now, bring your feet closer together so that your head doesn't touch. Like it could just almost barely touch, but not quite. And then you have more room for your spine to lengthen out. Now place your right palm in the middle of your mat, right under your face, send your left hand up to the sky, twisting fan. Left hand up to the sky. So you want your palm to face the purple wall, like you're gonna leave a handprint on the back wall. Good, shoulder blade down your back, keep breathing. That long line of energy from middle fingertip to middle fingertip. Take one more inhale, lengthen out your spine and twist for the whole exhale. Stand, ring out, then switch hands. Left palm on the ground, right arm up to the sky. Flat palm like there's a handprint on the glass. Nice, keep breathing. Top shoulder down into your back, towards your spine, like it's melting in towards your spine. Awesome. One more inhale, lengthen, stay for the whole exhale. Twist, 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 hands to the floor. Bend your knees a lot. Hands on your hips, rise up to standing. Use your low belly, use your legs to rise up. Nice. Turn your front foot to face the front of the room. Turn your back foot in. So in a little baby warrior one stance. So you want your hips to face the front of the room. Square them to the front of the room and then hinge down. Bring your heart to your shin. Now's the time for breath. You can keep your hands on your hips or bring them down to the floor. That's up to you. But concentrate on what your hips are up to right now, because the right one will try and sneak forward to take you out of the hamstring stretch. So focus on the right hip and shift it back behind you. Shift it to the wall behind you. Take this foot, put it right there. Yeah. And if your hamstrings are really talking to you and it's all you can think about right now, bend your front knee a little bit and breathe more. Like you're gonna send your breath into that space and soften it. Now bring your left hand to the ground or to a block and reach your right arm straight out from your shoulder. Don't twist just yet, just right arm straight out from your shoulder like you're gonna pat your neighbor on their shoulder blade instead of on their butt. Take a long inhale to lengthen your spine, then twist on your exhale. Use the exhale to bring yourself out. So every inhale, get a little longer, and every exhale, twist. Like the barrel of your rib cage is wrapping around your spine. You're squeezing out all that extra stuff, so you're making space for something new. Relax your toes. Take one more inhale, lengthen together. Stay for the exhale and twist together. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Gonna bring out all that extra stuff and make room for Thanksgiving. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breath in together. Breath out together. Yeah, breath in. Let it go. Sink your thumbs into the floor. One more breath in. One more breath out. Left side warrior one. Step and rise up. Ride your breath on the way up. Lift your heart up. Warrior two. Face the yellow wall. Be in it. Be in your breath. Be the one that keeps that rhythm going if you can't hear it from the person next to you. Flip your front palm. Reverse your warrior. You've got this all day long. Lunge a little bit deeper. Make a ton of space in your side waist. And press your front heel into the ground and reach back. Get long, straighten your leg, take triangle. So even if it feels like it's super easy to touch the ground, it's nice to experiment with having a block underneath your fingertips. Yeah, so you've got a little bit more space to play around with. Shoulder blades down into your back, that long line, middle fingertip to middle fingertip. Beautiful. Pull your low belly into the front side of your spine. Peel your top hip open a little bit more. Make it face the ceiling. Now use your top middle finger to draw you all the way up to standing. Turn your toes to face the yellow wall and interlace your fingers at your low back. So if you've got tight shoulders, a towel between your hands or a strap between your hands is a really good option here. Lift your heart high, hinge down. Let your hands spill overhead. Soften your knees a lot. Make the work happen in your hamstrings, right on the backs of your thighs. Beautiful. So rather than forcing your arms down towards the ground, see how much you can relax them so they just melt down on their own. You're so relaxed in your shoulders that they just melt to the floor by themselves. Relax your toes. They melt, melt, melt all the way to the ground. Or you're thinking about them melting to the ground. Then release your hands, place your fingertips on the floor. Inhale to a flat back. Super bend your knees, hands on hips, press into your feet to rise to stand. Turn both feet to face the bricks. Make sure your feet are also separated on train tracks because if they're on a tight rope, it's really hard to square your hips. Hinge down. Like you plan to hook your chin on your front big toe. Your spine is so long, you could just hook your chin on your big toe. Keep your breath going. Long, easy breath. So every single pose, you have an opportunity to send so much breath into your body that it fills up all the nooks and crannies that are asleep, that are still not being part of your pose, and you can bring them in so it actually makes your pose lighter because everything is working together for you. Everything works together. Right hand straight down to a block to the floor, left arm straight out, like parallel with the ground. Like you're gonna pat your neighbor on their shoulder blade and then twist open. Wring yourself out. Go for the twist in your core, less than can I get my fingertips all the way up to the sky? Because if you've got flexible shoulders, your arm will go there, no problem, but is it happening in your core right now? Is your low belly in and up? Is the twist really happening in the center of your body? Back to here. So every inhale you lengthen and every exhale you twist. One more inhale, lengthen together, stay for the whole exhale, twist, 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 chaturanga, hands to the floor. Upward facing dog, breathe in, fill yourself up. Downward facing dog, let it go. Breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Awesome, breath in, breath out. One more, fill up. Exhale completely, come through to sit, come into staff pose. Long legs straight out in front, water bottle towel asana. Sit really tall. Use your templed fingertips by your hips and lift your spine up a little bit taller. Reach your arms to the bricks. Slow as you can, lower your back to the floor. Use your flexed feet like brakes, like they're gonna slow you down. So if I asked you to stop, you could just pause and keep going. And then pause. Ooh, that's the sweet spot. All the way down. The second one's the worst. Bridge pose. Bend your knees and plant your feet. Flat feet on the earth. So heels close enough that you could just barely touch them with your fingertips. Then rise up. Lift your hips off the mat. Interlace your fingers at your low back and tuck your shoulder heads underneath you one at a time. So you've got your shoulder head supporting you, you've got your feet supporting you, you've got your breath to support you. Get a lot of breath involved in your back bend right now. Lots of breath involved in your body because all the other stuff is cleared out, so now you've got more room for a bigger breath. You've got more room to be present here in your body. Take one more inhale, lift your hips up, release, lower your hips down, take your knees side to side. Go for another bridge pose, flat feet on the earth, rise up. Like your spine's a wave, roll it off the mat. Big toes way down into the ground, then relax your butt. Squeeze your inner thighs together like they're squeezing in on a block, so you don't even need to squeeze your butt to lift your hips. Your legs are doing the work for you. Now bring your right knee into your chest and send your right foot way up to the sky. Way up. Press it up to the ceiling like our foot's going to lift your pelvis, knee to your nose. Place your foot down and bring your left knee into your chest. Keep breathing, foot up to the sky. Press, press, press. Long, easy breath so your breath can lift your whole body up a little higher. Knee to nose. Place your foot down. Release. Hips to the ground, knees side to side. Time for wheel. Fingertips up to the sky. Flex your wrists and bring your fingertips under your shoulders. Press into your feet, into your hands, rise up. Rise up. Go, yogis, go. Your body's ready. It's warm. It's ready. Your shoulders are ready. Your back is ready. It's time. Be here for 5 breaths. 5 powerful, loud breaths. Nice. Make it light. The more you focus on your breath, the lighter the back bend gets. Then tuck your chin and come down. Knees side to side. We're just going to go. You're going to go up against your edge. You're going to get past it. Tuck your fingertips and go. Another wheel. Rise up. So you can definitely keep taking bridge here. You can use as much muscle and as much effort in bridge as you do in wheel. So involve yourself in it. Make your whole body part of this pose right now. So there's not one spot that's doing all the effort. It's your whole body doing all the effort. One more breath here. Tuck your chin and come down. You're doing great. Keep breathing. Make your breath super loud right now, super powerful, because it's time. Tuck your fingertips and go. Wheel. Go, yogis, go. Wheel pose. Yeah. You want to get to the point in your practice where you're like, I can't possibly do that pose one more time, and then you do, and it's amazing when you land in it. It's amazing when it happens. Tuck your chin, come down. Knees side to side. Keep releasing your low back so you've got space. Wheel pose. Go. What? Yeah, go. Go. If you're used to taking 3, then take 4. If 4 feels all right, you'll take another one. Plant your palms into the ground. Lift your heart way up and back. Now tuck your chin and come down. Knees side to side. Keep breathing. You're doing awesome. We're almost there. Wheel pose. Go. Number 5. It's happening right now. It's going on right now. Go. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Rise up. Bridge or wheel. What's it going to be? Rise up. So even if you're taking bridge, you're part of the practice. You're part of the pose. It's happening. Tuck your chin. Come down. When you get to the point where you're laughing and you're like, this is just absurd, that's when you're past your edge. One more. One more. Go, yogis, go! Number 6, rise up. This is good old-fashioned Baptiste style, ladies and gentlemen. We do 6 wheels, and we're going to hold this one for 10 breaths. Woo! Who's counting for me? 10, 9, 8, Keep going. You got this. 7, 6, press down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tuck your chin and come down. Awesome job. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. Let your knees rock out to other side. Resist hugging your knees in just yet. We'll get there. Gonna give your back a break really quick. So rest your hands wherever you want, but keep your eyes open. So your focal point, that one spot, can keep you tethered to this moment, and anything that just came up, you get to experience. Instead of doing all that work and then closing your eyes and shutting it out, be in it. So you're awake, so you can be alive. Loud, conscious breath. Come back into it. A conscious choice to be here in this space. A conscious choice to do your best, no matter what that looks like. Draw your knees together, hug them into your chest, rock around on your low back. Give it a squeeze, give yourself a hug. You can make little circles if that feels good, or rock side to side. And interlace your fingers behind your head and keep your knees bent for bicycles. Flex your feet, calves parallel with the ground. Yeah, nice. Okay, so start breathing here before we even get going. Start your breath now, so it's long and easy, and you've got it as a tool. Then opposite elbow to opposite knee. So you get to choose the pace. But go at a pace that's not so fast that you're flailing noodle limbs everywhere, that your feet are still flexed, that your belly's part of the action. It's not just your neck. Yeah, your low belly weight in. Keep going, keep breathing. So where's your focus? Where's your mind right now? You don't have to say it out loud, of course, but you've got this attention and a reason why you're thinking about that thing, a reason why you're focused on that one spot. Keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Flex your feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in, give it a squeeze. Legs straight up in the air. Fingertips under your butt. Flex your feet. So eyes on that one spot on the ceiling. Pick one spot. Right leg down 30 degrees. So then you can focus on your breath. Press through your foot a lot. Another 30 degrees. Nice. Like your legs are scissors. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Then hover your right foot just above the ground. Hover, hover, hover. Press. Leg back up. Left leg 30 degrees. You've got it. Everything you need, you already have. It's already there. Just use it. Another 30. Press. Navel way down to the floor. Hover your foot just above the ground. Pull way in. Look at your toes. Breathe. Foot up to the sky. One more set. Squeeze your legs together like they're glued together. Both legs down 30 degrees. You've got this all day long. Squeeze your inner thighs more. Another 30. Press, press, press. Where's your breath? Use your breath. Hover your feet just above the ground. Get as long as you possibly can from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. Legs back up in the air. Knees into your chest. Squeeze them in. Building that container from the inside out. Rock back and forth 3 times. Sit up into boat pose. Make yourself like a big V. A long spine. Long legs. So you've got options. You can have your hands on the backs of your thighs. You can bend your knees, certainly, but lift your heart up like there's a string attached to your chest and it's reaching straight up to the ceiling. Now use your breath. Use your breath to stay. So it's not like you're muscling and forcing and trying really hard. It's just easy because you're with your breath. Take one more inhale. Lift your chest. Back and forth 3 times. Another boat pose. You've got this. Concerned faces. Relax your face. You've got this. Rock up. People are like, why are we still doing abs? The second boat. Rise up. We're still doing it because it's what's happening. That's simple. Flex your feet. Heart up. Collarbones wide. Yes. One more big breath. Fill up. Back and forth 3 times. Got one more. It's going to be the most awesome one. It's going to be the best one. Here it comes. Boat pose. So take a chance on this one. Take a risk on this boat pose. Maybe you straighten out your legs. Maybe you let go of your legs for the first time. Maybe you lift your chest a little bit higher. Just a little micro movement to really push it all the way to the edge. One more breath. Downward facing dog. Jump through, dance through, do a vinyasa. Walk back on your hands, whatever you want to do. So you can really be in your body, really be right here. Take a breath in together. And a breath out. Good. Long breath in through your nose. Breath out through your mouth. One more. Fill yourself up. Empty all the way out. Send your right leg up to the sky. Keep your breath going. Slow and smooth. Right knee to right wrist. Half pigeon. So before you make your way to the ground, check in with your thigh. Be honest with yourself. Is it parallel with the edge of your mat, or do you need to bring your knee in a little bit? Get your alignment in the foundation of your pose so the rest of your pose can do its own thing. Then make your way to the ground. It's really helpful to have a block or a towel to rest your forehead on. And if you want a block and you don't have one, wave me down, I can get you one. Because when your head's resting on a block, it keeps your neck in line with the rest of your spine. It makes your head a little less heavy. At least it feels like that to me. It's a little less heavy, a little less work. So as you make your way towards the end of your practice, the quality of your breath changes. So it's not so much about creating a ton of heat, really getting yourself to go that extra little bit, more about filling up all the space that you've already made. So make your breath long and purposeful. Make it a mindful breath, but now you're working on filling up all that space so you can take it with you when you walk off your mat after class. All that space, what are you going to do with all that space when you leave? Because everyone can do a lot of work and get a lot of space in their body, but if you don't choose what you're going to fill up that space with, the universe will decide for you. And it may be something that you don't want. So be in choice. Take up your own space. Long, easy breath. Make it all consuming. Downward facing dog. Shake out your hips. Move it all around. Do some hip circles if you want. Send your left leg up to the sky. Mindfully, left knee to left wrist. Draw it through. Place your shin. So you check in again. Is my thigh parallel with the edge of the mat? Or if you've been doing this pose for a while, maybe you can bring your shin closer to parallel with the front edge of your mat. It's easy to get pretty comfortable with doing the same thing over and over again in every pose. But if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, then you're going to keep getting what you've always got. So head resting on something, whether that's a block or your fists or your towel, and then you can melt into the ground. Yeah. Where do you need to send your breath so that every part of your body is part of your pose right now? It could be your fingertips. It could be the big toe on your back foot. Just think about your entire body being part of this experience. Let your breath flow through your body. Downward facing dog. Long breath in through your nose. Empty out through your mouth. Big breath in, fill. And empty. Long, purposeful breath. One more in, expand your chest and your lungs. Empty all the way out. Come through to sit, staff pose. Long legs, straight out in front. And take your right leg out to the right and bring your left heel in towards your right thigh. So you can move forward or back on your mat if you need to stagger with your neighbor a bit. And turn towards your right foot so your belly button faces toward your big toe and fold over your leg. Now's the time to send your breath into the back side of your body. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say that, just imagine that instead of your lungs filling up your chest, they're filling up your back. They're filling up the space between your ribs. Keep your breath fluid. Sink your left hip down into the ground. Rise up. Switch sides, left leg out, right heel in. Belly button towards your big toe and fold down. Lots of breath into the tightest part on your back, which for a lot of people is the lower right corner of your back right now. Rise back up. Both legs wide. Take a wide leg straddle. Wide leg straddle, and then everybody bend your knees So you can sit up really tall in your spine. So heels on the ground, bent knees, so you can lift your heart up. And then do your best to keep the long straight back and then hinge forward. So you're folding in half like a piece of paper. So don't worry about, I need to get my face to the floor because that'll look cooler right now. Just go for a long spine. Super long spine. A block is really helpful. If you're pretty flexible and can get close to the ground, a block is helpful to rest your forehead on so it keeps your whole neck and your whole spine long. Think about your tailbone reaching straight to the wall behind you, way out behind you. Toes still up to the sky. Keep breathing. And slowly walk yourself up, tall straight spine. Bring your legs together. Reach your arms to the bricks. Lower your back to the mat, one piece at a time. Legs straight up in the air, Viparita Karani or shoulder stand. So if you're taking legs in the air pose, you can certainly put a block under your low back. It's a good place to hang out. If you're taking shoulder stand, make sure that you've got your focal point straight up at the sky so your head's not turning side to side. It's better for your neck that way. So if coming towards the end of your practice means that your mind is now already checked out and you're thinking about what else you're going to do for the rest of the day, just notice that and bring yourself back into here, because you're not quite there yet. Pie will happen, don't worry, just come to the Christmas party. It's going to be great. Roll your ankles around, move your toes around. Yeah, let everything drain out. So there's a space for everybody when you're upside down where you're like, okay, I've done this many breaths and now I'm going to put my legs down. Instead, start to go with, are my legs drained out? Does it actually feel like everything's drained out? And then you put your legs down. So then you start moving with your body and less with your brain. And when your body says, okay, it's time for plow pose, then hinge at your hips and have your legs long behind you. Because your mind probably said, well, you can't do 6 wheels, but you just did, so your body knows what's up. Long legs, tailbone up to the sky in your plow pose. And take deaf man's pose, bend your knees and gently squeeze the sides of your head. So you can have your hands on your low back to help support you, or maybe reach your hands back by your feet. Even from here, plenty of room for your breath. Use it. Then hands to the mat for breaks and slowly lower your spine to the earth. Like you're unrolling, bone by bone. Knees into your chest. Rock around on your low back. And take happy baby. Soles of the feet up to the sky. So you can reach for the inner edge or the outer edge. But if it feels like grabbing onto your feet means that you're curved way up to the ceiling with your tailbone and your shoulders on the ground, place your hands on the backs of your thighs instead. So your whole back gets to rest on the ground. And rock back and forth. Nestle your spine back into your body. Your breath back into your body. Then hang out in dead bug, stillness. Same pose, just still. Melt your shoulder blades down to the ground. Bring your knees into your chest, take them over to the right, and look left, supine twist. So take the time to stack your hips one on top of the other. For a few of you, that means scoot your bottom hip closer towards the purple wall. So they're literally one on top of the other. Breathe into your sideways, long, easy breath. Come back to center, switch sides, knees over to the left, and look right. And maybe while you look right, you check out our holiday schedule. Thanksgiving, we're only having our 9:15 a.m. class, and that's it. And the day after, I'm teaching a really wicked awesome turkey twist-off class from 10 to 12, and that's the only class we have on Black Friday, and I wait all year to teach it, so please come. Lots of twists, lots of abs, lots of upside down. It's always a blast. Bring your knees back to center. Hug them into your chest. Give one last squeeze. Squeeze everything in really tight, like every single muscle. Flex your feet, flex your toes, bring your forehead up to your knee. Squeeze in, really, really tight. Savasana, let it all go. Let your legs relax out, mat with distance, wider if you want. And there's a cold stone up at the corner of your mat. You can put it on your third eye between your eyebrows or on the hollow of your throat. I like it on my chest right over my heart. Just that little extra pressure, a little reminder. So any last little wiggles or moving around that you need to do, go ahead and do them so that you can commit to stillness. You can commit to what's going on right now. And for the next few minutes, you've got absolutely nothing to do. It's just you and your breath, you and your body melting down into the ground. Deepen your breath. Bring some movement back into your fingertips and your toes. And stretch your hands overhead. Stretch out long, fingertips to your feet. Let your whole body sink into the ground. Plant your feet on the earth and rock onto your right side. With your eyes still closed, press down and rise up. Take your seat. Sit with a tall, brand new spine. Sink your hips and your tailbone down onto the floor and reach the crown of your head way up to the ceiling. Inhale, reach your hands overhead. Exhale, thumbs to your heart. We'll finish our practice together with 5 rolling ohms and make a big sea of ohms. So as soon as you finish your first one, go right to your second. Take a deep breath in. Long breath in through your nose, let it out through your mouth. The light within me honors and greatly respects the light within each and every one of you. Namaste. Awesome, sweaty class, guys. Thanks for coming. So, 40 days, holiday schedule, lots of things coming up. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, and hopefully I will see you soon. Next class I teach is Wednesday at 7 a.m., so get in before work. Stay warm. Have an awesome rest of your weekend.